big update, huge update. So, as you may already know, for the most part, I only collect the Snow Village Halloween set. I've always only collected the Halloween pieces, and I love the Halloween pieces. That's my favorite village collection that they have, and I really enjoy decorating for Halloween. I also enjoy decorating for Christmas and everything else too, but the Halloween seemed to fit better for me when I first started collecting, so that's what I started collecting. And it started with a little piece here, a little piece there. Got married, my wife and I kind of poured gasoline on that already burning fire, and so now we have a huge village, most of which hasn't ever even been fully displayed yet because we do have a young child, and so we haven't displayed it in a couple of years fully, just timing and placement and everything else. This year we're planning on displaying all of our pieces, still working on that currently, but as if I didn't have enough to worry about and do, I have decided that it is time for us to also branch out into Christmas. Yes, that's right. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. Halloween is probably right there, second or third favorite holiday as well. Really enjoy Halloween. I love the Halloween pieces. I still think the Halloween Village it will still be my baby and my prize possession, but we're gonna branch out into a Christmas village as well. So it's gonna be small. It's gonna start out small. It's gonna continue to be small for years. We're not gonna sink a bunch of money into it. And the other thing is, I kind of want to grow it more. I don't know, organically is the right word, but I want to grow it intentionally. So right now I kind of buy the pieces in the Halloween Village that I like, and then we have to figure out a way to put them into our village or build a new area of the village to incorporate those. For the Christmas Village, at least the intention and the start is going to be very much more methodical in how to buy the pieces, which ones I'm going to go after, which ones we're going to buy, and then kind of build out our Christmas Village from that initial stage, and then when we're ready, move along at that point to the next area that we're going to develop and everything else. Hopefully that will, make more sense, be easier to display. I'm sure it's going to get out of hand at some point, as most of us probably know, and things tend to happen. But that is where we stand. I came to the realization a few days ago that we're definitely going to do this. I've been toying with the idea for a couple of years. About a week ago, started looking into it more seriously and just decided, I think I want to do that. The question was, which village? I definitely wanted to do Department 56, and I'm going to stay away from Limax as much as possible. I do get a lot of, and lately for sure, have been getting a lot of Limax pieces to supplement the Department 56 Halloween Village. Pretty much everything we had was Department 56 Snow Village Halloween set. Again, some pieces for Limax were just too cool to pass up, and so we were able to kind of supplement some Limax Spooky Town pieces in there, and I really like those. I think some of them can kind of go well depending on how you arrange them and things like that. But for the Christmas Village, I'm probably going to stick more traditionally to just the Department 56. We'll see how that goes. You never know if something comes up. Obviously, I'm not going to be too hard fast in that idea. I think it's a good plan to have, but if something really speaks to me and would work perfectly in the village, I don't care that much that I'm gonna not buy it only because it doesn't have the 5.6 on it. So with that being said, that led me again to that decision-making process of, hey, well, which one are we going to pick? right away. I knew probably 2 or 3 different choices. The first one that came to mind was the Christmas in the City Village. And that's kind of where I was leaning to start with. The other idea was the Snow Village, the original Snow Village, obviously not the Halloween part, but the Christmas side. And then the North Pole Village. So those were the 3 main ones I was looking into. There's a couple of others that I'm just not interested in. And, Dickens and Alpine, New England, things like that. This is something really cool that is on the Department 56 website. If you go to department56.com, go over to extras, drop down, and do start collecting, it has this. You might want to know more about Department 56 products. You might want to explore our villages to figure out what suits your personal style and interest. Interestingly enough, I didn't find this until I was getting ready to start this video, and I haven't dove into this too much, but basically this is all of their villages and the family tree, for lack of a better term, of those villages. So mainly right here we have the Heritage Village collection. These are all the things that you see. You'll see the boxes that have the Heritage collection, and then it'll say like North Pole series, Christmas in the City, stuff like that. So obviously you see Dickens here, the New England, Alpine, Christmas in the City, and then some other stuff like Disney Parks, Historical, Landmarks, Holy Land collection, Literary Classics collection, Classic Ornaments, and then the North Pole series. So you got that. North Pole is the one I knew a pretty good bit about. My sister actually collected that when we were growing up. And then I've seen a lot of people collect the Dickens. I've seen maybe a couple people that have collected the New England. I've seen Alpine online and stuff like that. But those are the Heritage, some super popular ones. And then of course, there's also the original Snow Village collection. And from that kind of parent down, you have all these different subcategories and things like that. But that's kind of what we were looking into, either this original Snow Village collection, or the North Pole series, or the Christmas in the City series. So led me to a little bit more research and figuring out, kind of what each one represents and stands for and things like that. Just a quick synopsis. I'm going to go into a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to do another video just fully kind of diving into a little bit more about what each village stands for, because I realized in this process that there's really nothing out there about like which one should you choose. You really have to do a lot of legwork, and it's not super intuitive. The Department 56 website is super helpful. So if you go there, it does have, Snow Village. Snow Village, the original Snow Village has been built with the same traditions and values found in small towns all across America for over 45 years. The shops and neighborhoods of Main Street, USA continue to prosper and grow under the loving care of the Department 56 artists. So I really liked that idea. I'm not in a big city or anything like that. I've never been to New York City. So that kind of was a good thing. And I already collect the Snow Village Halloween set. So maybe a little bit similarity there, familiarity, I don't know. But that was one option. Another option would have been, or another option would be the North Pole. Another option would be the North Pole Village. So if you pull that up, be inspired by magic and charming legends, our porcelain North Pole series. Buildings and accessories bring Christmas dreams to life for the young and young at heart. Laugh and smile at the charming and amusing antics of Santa, Mrs. Claus, and all of the hardworking elves at the North Pole. So you can tell that North Pole's a little bit more whimsical, a little bit more unique in the buildings. As you can see there, the peppermint tea thing, like all of their buildings are a lot more unique. They're not just a house roof. They're shaped like a hot cocoa mug. They're shaped like a Coke bottle, things like that. They have board game pieces on the outside, just things like that. I really like them. I like the buildings of the North Pole series a lot. So that was another option. Let's see the next one. So the third one that I was looking into, of course, Christmas in the City series. Open the door to the hustle and bustle of city living. This series of hand-painted porcelain village buildings and accessories captures the elegance and excitement of the city. So this is much more of your big city feel. I made a list of pros and cons for each one. So Christmas in the City was my initial thought. I was kind of leaning that way. So my initial start was Christmas in the City started in 1987, so a long time ago. If you go to the historical list on their website, it's 7 pages of just the lit buildings, not even including the accessories. It's 7 pages of just buildings, so a lot, all the way back to 1987. We're talking about a lot of things to collect. I'm not sure if that's a pro or a con, and more on that in a bit, but some of the pros, I liked a lot of the stuff they had. I'm a big sports fan, and they have a ton of sports stuff. So Cubs things, for Chicago Cubs, there was like a Cubs tavern, Cubs souvenir shop, refreshment stand for the Cubs at the ballpark and things like that. But they also had it for like the Yankees and the Red Sox. I think any kind of major market team like that, at least those 4, Red Sox, Yankees, White Sox, and Cubs for sure, I saw all of those, had different things of the same building with just the name of the team replaced. I'm not sure how much I love that or not. I started kind of moving that away from the pro column and just being an ambivalent thing, because I'm not really interested in making it a sports themed thing. It's really going to be a Christmas village. So if there's any kind of sports tie over, it's really going to be incidental. So I kind of moved away from that being a super big pro. Originally, I thought that would be so awesome, but kind of pulled away from that. But the pros are that they have some really cool buildings, huge, tall skyscrapers. They have the Art Institute of Chicago, which is a building I've been in front of. I visit Chicago a pretty good bit for work, so I thought that was a really cool thing to have. They also have Otto's Tavern for Harley Davidson, which I thought was really cool. Really cool piece. And granted, Harley Davidson has pieces in multiple different lines, so not that that's prohibitive of any particular one, but the Otto's Tavern in particular I thought was really cool. Santa's Reindeer Petting Stable was another piece that I saw that was really cool. So just a few different things for the Christmas in the City. Again, I think you can make that look really beautiful. I've seen a lot of displays that have the Christmas in the City. Looks great, big time, big city feel. You can make big roads with snow falling and things like that. I think that that's a really awesome village, and it was a highly considered. It was the front runner when I was going into it. That's what I thought I was going to end up with. Next up was the North Pole. So one of the main cons that I came up with to start this was my sister collected this and like somewhat collects this. She doesn't display it a lot, just timing and space and things like that, but she has a ton of North Pole. So starting from scratch with North Pole, I mean, it's kind of like encroaching on like her territory. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to outdo her and her village or anything like that, and I'm not going to be able to compete with what she has going on anyway for a very long time. So that seems a little bit like, I don't know, but the pieces are hilarious. I love the pieces. One in particular is my favorite piece, maybe for anything that's not Halloween. My favorite Christmas piece for sure is the, I think it's Pip and Pop's Bubble Works. It has the old school bubble light that has the bubbles that fizz up. It's red, it's got a green bottom. I'll try to drop a picture right here, but that was really cool. The Fizz Factory with the Coca-Cola can, super cool. Board Game Factory, the list goes on and on. Just really cool buildings. But I started thinking, I think after a while, the novelty of the buildings kind of wears off on a large scale. So if you have a big village of just that, I'm not sure. I can't decide whether that's really cool, because then you can dive into individual spots and it's interesting, or do you kind of lose the trees for the forest kind of thing. I don't know. I'd have to live with it a little bit more. But yeah. So North Pole started in 1990. It's 8 pages of items. So more items page-wise, more lit buildings, but started about 3 years later. Starting on the, what's that, 33 years later. So, interesting idea to start with the North Pole. The problem would be, it's North Pole. It's supposed to be the North Pole. You really don't have humans, which is fine with me, because the ceramic figurines, depends on what you like, but the main attraction is, these whimsical buildings and things like that. You're not really going to have that tie to something that seems familiar, like a small town feel or the city Christmas idea, and you probably lose a little bit of the reason for the season kind of thing, because there's not going to be a ton of like churches and angels and things like that. So I think it's going to be a lot more secular type stuff, as opposed to the more religious reason for the season ideology. So then I had to look into Snow Village. Started in 1976, 14 pages of items, just a huge amount. Obviously, if it started in 1976, we're talking about coming in nearly on 50 years of products. So that's a lot. Obviously, it's 14 pages worth of just buildings, not including accessories. So the con was, it's a ton of pieces. That's a lot of stuff. If your goal is to get all of the pieces, just good luck. You're gonna have to write a big check, or it's gonna take you until you die. So I'm not sure the amount of items is a bad thing. The more I started thinking about it, I'm not trying to get all of the items. That's kind of a goal of mine long term down the road. Maybe for Halloween, that would be cool to have everything. I'm not so sure that's the end goal for this one. This is just to make my vision of a Christmas village. So I think that from that standpoint, the tons of pieces is a good thing. You have tons of stuff to choose from. So the other pros would be Halloween is technically part of the Snow Village line. They also have the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation items, which I love Christmas Vacation, so we could set that up as well. You could also collect that in a separate little area and still collect Christmas in the City or something like that. So not a huge pullback. But anyway, you also have the Smoky Mountain Lodge. There is a Dairy Queen. Of course, there's Dairy Queen in basically each of the other lines as well. And then there's the Christmas Lane, Grinch House, which is awesome. We'll get into that in a second. Oh Holy Night House. Just tons of cool houses from that particular Christmas Lane set, and I really like those. So then I saw a dairy farm, and I'm gonna get into that in just a second. Here, we'll pull it up. So here is the dairy barn for the Snow Village. And when I saw this, it's kind of like game's over. So this video was originally going to be me like workshopping, getting comments from other people, hopefully, as to which one should I pick and things like that. Unfortunately, I've been doing some research for the last couple of days now, and I landed on, it's going to be Snow Village. So just spoiler alert, I'm collecting the Snow Village Christmas soon. So this is really what kind of made me go, oh, I think this is it. I think it's going to be Snow Village. I love this dairy barn. I think this is going to be the first piece. I've already been shopping a little bit. Haven't bought anything yet, but I think this is going to be the initial piece that we buy to kind of branch off and some accessories as well with it. If you can see this, hopefully, this is a display that has the barn. It has the accompanying piece, which is the 3 cows. I think it's the holiday herd of heifers. It's got 3 cows that are kind of sort of decorated for Christmas. There is in the back, actually I'm not sure what that is 100%. If somebody can tell me, that would be great to tell me what that building is in the back. Then there's the delivery truck, just really cool display there. And I also saw, truthfully, I saw this video first when I was debating on which to choose. I was looking at, YouTube videos of people's villages, Christmas villages, and things like that to see what the display looks like, and came across this one. So one thing, I love that in the background there. It's like an ice fishing camp area. So I thought that was really cool. That may be an additional what we kind of expand into next. But here is the dairy farm. I saw, sorry if the video is a little laggy. I'm doing all this on one computer, so, but here is the dairy farm that they have set up. You can see the fence looks awesome. The cows out and about, super cool. They even have that red windmill in the back, which I think works perfectly with this piece. Old school truck, just all kinds of animals and everything else going on here. And I really think this is great. So when I saw that, I was like, whoa, didn't know that they had a dairy barn. So little backstory here. I actually majored in dairy science, so I love dairy stuff. It's fun to see that kind of nostalgia to that. But the other thing is, my son loves cows, and so that was another thing to me. He's 5. I think he would really love this as kind of a kickstart into this, and I think that would be a really cool thing for him to get to help set up. And especially as he gets older and we continue to grow the village, this would be a good kind of initial piece to start that thing. He would love it. Yeah, and so that's kind of what it is. So the video that had that was the 2022 display. It's called Department 56, My Snow Village Display. The channel is Jonathan G. So check that out if you want to see his whole village. It's really cool. He has that ice fishing area. Even has like the Smoky Mountain Lodge set up as well. Really cool, and just a great display. I really liked it a lot. So that got me looking into the dairy a little bit more and other things. Here's some other items that they have available that would kind of correspond with that dairy farm piece. There's a creamery. That's incredible. I love that. I think that would go well in the same village as that dairy farm. And let's see, a few other things as well. This is Elsie, decorating Elsie for Christmas. So Elsie the cow has the lights wrapped around her. I think this is hilarious. Again, just a great, fun addition to a dairy farm village, Christmas village thing. So I thought that was really cool. And then on top of the dairy items, they had some really cool stuff. Like this one was really cool. The Grinch House. So this is part of the Christmas Lane set. It's got the Grinch stealing the lights off the house, which is all time just great. I don't love how these decorations, I guess, are kind of 2D cardboard cutout stuff, but it's, I suppose, meant to be somebody's house that decorated it this way, which I can get on board with that idea, as opposed to actually being the Grinch. So yeah, there's the creamery again. Just really fun piece there. And then we I came across some other things too, just real quick as we wrap up here. Some other items I saw that I thought would be really cool, that I liked the houses a lot. Brite Lights Holiday House. I think this is new for 2023. Maybe 2022, but I think this just came out. Season's Greetings. Has the lights on it, the trees. Just a really cool piece. The other ones I saw that I liked a lot here. So along with that kind of ice fishing area, I think this would be really cool. It's called the Proud Angler, best spot on the lake. It's got the bobber up there at the top of the roof. Obviously a little fishing house or fishing store, something like that. So I think that would be really great. There's also one that's, I think it's called a Big Catch or Got Something Big or something like that. And it's a guy fishing and he's hooked himself in the back. There's also this one. I think this is called, does it have the name? No, I think it's just maybe the Holiday House. Not 100% sure, but you can see some of these as well. Yeah, Holiday House, Best Decorated House. I mean, just some great items here. So, I think that's the main ones that I pulled out. But, for those reasons, we're gonna be a Christmas house, Christmas Village channel as well. So, we will still primarily pump out Halloween videos. There is going to be the periodic Christmas Village piece and Christmas display, especially post Halloween, November, December, maybe a little bit in January as we take down things like that. It's not going to be very voluminous, especially in its infancy stage. We're talking about, you know, a couple of buildings, 1-2 buildings, some accessory pieces, and putting together an initial display where we could display one piece and it looked good. My wife is a little bit slower to come around to this idea. She's not in love with doing a Christmas Village too, because she does a lot of the decorating and displays and things for the Halloween Village. So we will try to, I'm going to try to take on as much of that responsibility, since it's my idea, for the Christmas Village as I can, with her help on some creativity stuff as well, because she's a little bit more creative in that respect. And her biggest problem is space, because we don't have a huge house, and she doesn't want me taking up the dining room from basically August through December now. We already do that for Halloween, so an additional 2 months of not using the dining room would be a little bit aggravating. So we're gonna have to find a special spot to display this, especially once it gets beyond, 3 or 4 buildings and we need to branch out. Where is it gonna be displayed? We'll look for places, but that's 2 years down the road. We may be in a different house by then. We may be, who knows, have a different room set up to where we have the ability to do it, or I'll build some shelves and kind of do it layered in my office or in somewhere else. So that is the update, little channel update, little digging into update. So I'm gonna do another video of kind of breaking it down for other people about the process and just kind of explaining the different villages for them and how to choose which one to pick, because it was a little difficult. Like I knew a good bit. I grew up in a house that several people collected Department 56, mom, sisters, things like that. And we saw other people that collected it. But having to make that decision as to, okay, which one do I really want to like focus on and collect, and why, and what's the difference between Christmas in the city versus Snow Village? You think you know, but you just kind of want to make sure, you know, look at the buildings, look at the ideology of the two, and then North Pole, and then kind of really, you know, think about what that would look like. So, just a lot to think on, and I'm going to try to do my best to make another video that helps somebody else with that. Hopefully this video may help somebody as well. If nothing else, hopefully it gets you excited about this. More Halloween to come, more Christmas to come. I guess that's just about it. Until next time, thanks for checking it out, and let me know if I'm making a mistake in the comments below.